Nightwing number 6, written by Kyle Higgins, art by Eddie Barrows and Geraldo Borges. We left off last issue with pretty much a one-shot of a demon down in Louisiana, and Nightwing had to go rescue his circus buddy. But the big reveal at the end was that Psycho, the killer, is actually Raymond, the dead friend of his from his youth. This issue picks up. Nightwing is in Austin, Texas, and basically he's just fighting some other super villain, like, with mild powers. It's apparently a dude in, like, an exosuit named Shocks, who I guess is working with some sort of crime network in the city, because there's a man named Terrence Clark who works with contract killers. I don't know. Honestly, it leads to nothing, but the whole thing is that he's fighting this guy, throwing out quips left and right, and he gets Shocks in this giant biomechanical armor to go through a glass floor that is just a huge aquarium. So he's able to go after the contract killing booking guy and ask about Psycho and be like, hey, do you know this guy? Because I'm going to drop you off this building if you don't. And he's like, I did a job with him once, but he's taking some time off for something personal, he said. I got his number, but I'm sure it's disconnected by now. And Nightwing's like, all right, cool, didn't expect that to work. So he pulls him back up, gets the number, and hopes that he can use it as a springboard to something. Then we see Raymond talking with, why am I blanking on her name? The girl, whatever her name is. We'll get there. Raya. Anyway, he's talking to Raya, and he's like, all right, so you know what the plan is? And she's like, yeah, are you sure we're really going through with this? And he's like, yeah, of course we are. This is the whole reason we lured him back. He doesn't care about you. He's just as responsible for what happened as anyone else. So let's kill Dick Grayson. So then we see Raya walking with Dick over some scenic bridges or whatever, and she's a little bit out of things, but apparently she's thinking about, according to her, Dick's family and like how it happened and all that stuff, and how she saw them as family back then, and apparently the anniversary of their death is coming up, so they're going to stop the rest of the circus tour, go back to Gotham City, and do a big blowout, like a tribute to the Flying Graysons. And Dick immediately recognizes it, like, oh, this is why Psycho hasn't attacked me again. He was waiting for something big, and this is something big. So I don't think we can really do this show. And so we see him saying that to everyone else in the tent, and they're all just like, are you kidding me? You don't want to do this show? And he's like, well, I mean, we don't know who killed Mr. Haley, so maybe we shouldn't. Like, he has no good reason to throw out there. So everyone's just like, dude, we're doing this show. This is a big event. It's a big ticket thing. We've already pretty much pre-sold tickets to this thing in Gotham. We're doing this. Stop wanting this circus to die. We get a one-page thing real quick of a detective coming across some really bloodied and mangled bodies, and he finds one of Nightwing's eskrima sticks, like his bow staff or whatever. It has his logo on it. I think that's just set up for the next arc because it doesn't come up here, but we'll see. So we see, I guess the entire thing has gone ahead, and it's got a big old poster out in front of the building. It's the Flying Graysons tribute show, and basically he's going around this giant tent and he's trying to find as many security points as he can. Like, he's trying to lock it down so he knows where and when Psycho is going to show up. But for that big of a thing, it's pretty much a nightmare to do. And as he's staring up at the poster of his parents, who shows up but Alfred? And Alfred's like, oh, Master Dick, I just wanted to come say hi. I can't stay because over in Batman's book, he's been missing for like a week. So yeah, I have to go out and be the guy at the back computer, I guess. So you should enjoy tonight. Like, I know that you are worried about the security, but this is something for your parents, and it could be something good for you too. Just don't be so preoccupied that you don't enjoy it yourself. And the big night comes. It's a loaded house. Dick's keeping an eye on his phone, but then he's shoved out to give a speech about how the circus was his family, and despite the fact that he lost his parents here, he never truly lost his family here in the circus. And he goes back in, and Raya's like, wait a minute, did you mean that? Are we really truly family? And he's like, yeah, of course I meant that, whatever. But he checks his phone. He's like, ah, crap, Psycho's here. So he gets geared up. He goes up to the place where the sensor caught Psycho. and they start fighting. Psycho immediately unmasks himself and he's like, "Here I am, it's me, Raymond. Bet you didn't see that coming." And, keep fighting for a little bit, but then as soon as Dick Grayson is shoved decently far away from Raymond, he pulls out a detonator, presses the button, and the entire floor, I want to say just the ring, but it looks like the entirety of the floor of the circus just explodes with Dick Grayson dangling above it. And he's like, "Oh no." And that's where we leave off. I liked it. It was a solid issue, but it also was just something like we didn't get any huge reveals here. Like, we knew that thing about Psycho and Raymond going into this. We knew everything that was going on in terms of like the plan, more or less, because it's pretty obvious in terms of, okay, here's Raya's in love with Raymond, and Raymond blames Dick, so clearly he thinks Dick is. The only thing that's a bit unclear is, why does Dick seem like the fiercest killer to Raymond? That part's not so clear yet, but nothing in this was a huge surprise, the cliffhanger notwithstanding. This was more, I feel like, for the Alfred talk, where they were just trying to boil down over the course of the issue of like, who does Dick truly see as his family, and who does Raya see as her family, and who does Raymond see as his family? Like, I feel like that was the point of the issue, and in that case it did it well. But in terms of actually furthering the story, I mean, we got the entire concept of this tribute show, the execution of this tribute show, and the destruction of this tribute show all in one issue. So in that regard, you could say it moved by very quickly, but that just makes it feel like more of a one-shot than it does part of the larger story, if that makes any sense. So overall, though, did like it. I'm going to go ahead and give it a 6.5. I think Alfred stuff, and again, how they tie it into the other books with Batman being missing, very well done. I have a couple qualms about some of the ways that Dick looks across this book. It's a little bit inconsistent at times, but I mean, I can get over it. It's not the worst thing. It's not like anything is too off model. So yeah, 6.5 for this. I think we got one more issue in this arc, and we will see how they wrap it up next time.